To order for the Conejo Recreation and Park District Board of Directors, regular meeting of October 2nd, 2025. And to start, after calling to order, I'm going to request our outgoing executive assistant, Aileen Reinders, to lead us in the flag salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May we have the roll call, please?
Director Nichols,
Yes.
Director Cussworth. Here. Director Huffer,
Yes.
Director Buss. Yes. Director Orozco. Yes.
And with that, I would like to welcome our incoming executive assistant, Raquel Broker. You did a great job to start, so it's all uphill from there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, next we have special presentations, and we're going to start with the new Conejo Recreation and Park District website. Guess we have a real great rollout that we're going to be watching tonight, so we're looking forward to that.
Microphone, please.
Push. There we go. Good evening, Chair Nichols and members of the board. Thank you so much for having us here tonight. Tonight it's going to be CRPD marketing, so it's Juan and I, and we also have Mark Segedy with IT, who is on Zoom. And we're going to present to you this amazing project that we've been working on this past year, probably a little bit longer. But we're really excited. We're excited that we finally launched. And so we're just going to share with you and give you a couple of insights of the process of what took us here and why we needed that refresh. So diving right in, reasons for the refresh. So what really pushed us to do the refresh was the new ADA law. So that was AB 434 that required state agencies such as ours and entities to meet accessibility standards. And what that is pretty much having your website be, what's the word, compliant and accessible for people with disabilities, whether you're somebody, an individual with disability, visual impairments. So we would have to color correct, right? And make contrast and just making it easy to navigate for somebody with a disability to use a screen reader to tab through different titles and portions of the website so they can also obtain the information. Along with ADA and being accessible, we also wanted to step into the now. So I remember when I first started working for CRPD, one of the first things Rochelle had asked me to do was comb through the website and tell me what you think. I had to hold my feelings in a little bit. So I'm happy that this time actually came for a refresh. A lot of our content was old. The look and feel, it was just really just kind of hard to absorb and not easy on the eyes. So we wanted to come up with a modern design to complement our new branding, the refreshed logo that we had a couple of years ago. Thank you, Juan. And with the new fonts that we use, a new color palette and accent colors that are also accessibility or approved. So yes, we wanted to do that and then also improve our user experience, both on the front end and on the back end. So front end, it was just pretty much hard to navigate. We had to organize a lot of the content and just things were a little bit scattered. It wasn't that bad, but we wanted to make it easier and also enhance the search engine to make it easier for the front end users. While on the back end, Juan and I, and also Jody, we did a lot of the editing on the back end, and it was on a platform that it was just so difficult to do any kind of edit, even something as simple as creating tables and fonts moving and shifting, trying to get colors to appear, and it wasn't. It was just really a complicated platform to work with. So we wanted to enhance our functionality and pretty much just make everything easier. So we started the conversation with our web development companies. So we were with Nine Planets back in 2023, the tail end of 2023, and asked them, hey, what is it going to take for us to come up with a new revamped website? And this is what we want. And we also wanted to be compliant and have everything accessible. So there were so many phases that they presented to us. In 2024, that's when we started our first phase. In January, we surveyed the front end users. So everybody who visited the site on the front end, they would see they saw a link to a Google Forms that Nine Planets created, and it was questions that they asked the public. Hey, how do you use our website? What do you look for? How can we make it easier? How can we make your experience easier? And so forth. So we collected a lot of good information and comments and feedback from the public. But not only that, we then went into phase two, which was also surveying the back end users. So it was pretty much our staff, the board of directors, community partners, and sports organization. And again, the same thing. It was asking them, what do you want to see? How can we make your experience easier? And with that, we moved on to our next phase, which was the following month. So this is 3 months already in 2024. Nine Planets then met on via Zoom with different divisions to do more of an in-depth comb through of the website. And it was just pretty much Annie sitting on Zoom with a lot of our supervisors in our rec division, the parks division. We had some members from the parks division come and just pretty much explain to her how they use it, what kind of files they upload, and then also like just the basic changes that they would like to see to make their pages work. So the duration of the year of 2024, we spent just a lot of back and forth. So our main communication was via email. Sometimes we would get on Zoom and do some really some Calendly calls with Annie from Nine Planets. And so we worked on the navigation restructuring, building out the infrastructure. And I know that little image off to the right is a little bit small there, but that's pretty much what it is. We were trying to organize the site and just kind of map out where we wanted certain sections and where things would fit in properly, right? And so we did all that and then also did a content review and our search engine redirect. So our previous site had so many different links. Some of the links were just sitting there, some of them were broken. So we wanted to make sure that we had like up-to-date links that were actually linking to things if we needed it to be there. And that was just a big undertaking there. Come December, they presented us with the final content planner. It was just a big lengthy map of where we finalized things to be. Then in January, they presented us with a proposal, and the proposal was it was good. However, the numbers weren't right, and then also the timeline wouldn't fit with when and what we needed for our website and when we wanted it to launch. So we then worked on bidding out to other web development companies. We researched our sister organizations and got to see which web development companies they were working with or who had built their site and what worked for them. We asked them for just, like their feedback on the web development companies that they worked with. And so finally, we honed it down to a couple of options. And in February, we had our first meeting. Oh, I got it. Little typo there, with Streamline, and pretty exciting stuff. I'm going to pass this on to Juan, who's going to give you more insight about Streamline.
You. All right. So most of you right now are probably asking, who is Streamline? Streamline is a software platform that focuses on ADA compliance, digital transparency, and web design. On top of that, they offer countless training and support sessions that they can give to us already included in the cost. Why we went with Streamline? As of today, actually, Streamline services over 2,000 special districts across the country. So their niche, they found their niche with special districts across the country. Sorry, one second. They found their niche with special districts across the country, and from there, we already took that as a good sign, just because they knew how to fill our needs, because we're so similar to other districts across the country. Um, Ability to store information was a huge plus for us, just because when we used to host our website with 9 planets, we would run out of server space to host all our photos, and so increasing the space with them would cost an additional amount, to the point where it was starting to become too expensive to host any images on the former website. And that's where it comes back into cost. The cost of going with Streamline is at a fraction of what we would be paying with 9 planets today. So that just made it a lot more lucrative for us to move over to Streamline. Now, in terms of the timeline with Streamline, that was actually a very quick turnaround. I believe it was a span of like 6 months. With an initial call, we already gave them the information that we got from our research in the community. From there, they were actually able to give us a prototype website within, I want to say, 2 months. And then from there, we would refine and work over it for the rest of that time up until launch, which actually took place last week. And yeah, and we worked very closely with a lot of their team, especially Lindsay Green. She's actually a manager over at Streamline, and she just amazing, and she made the entire process very streamlined, for lack of a better word. Now, an important tool that actually was, or at least a very important issue that we are going to deal with when we were making our website, was documents. Just because documents were difficult to make compliant for screen readers. And so for that, I'm actually going to hand it over to Mark, who's joining us via Zoom.
Good evening, Director Nichols, members of the board. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Excellent. So I'm actually using this, since this is our first meeting with the new website, I'm also actually using this as an opportunity kind of with a live studio audience, and I'm checking back-end systems and front-end systems as we're doing this meeting. So everything so far, so good. It's awesome. What I want to talk to you about, though, is one of the key components of Streamline, and one of the main offerings that really set them apart from a lot of the other vendors that we looked at, is this module called Doc Access. And what it is basically is it's a tool that makes all of CRPD's website documents accessible. What does that mean? It allows us to convert to an accessible transcript. It allows you to translate into 150 different languages. You can connect to a live visual interpreter that's provided by Streamline should you require additional assistance. So if the transcript's not enough for you for accessibility, you can actually talk live with an operator that will help you translate the document at no additional cost. You can navigate with a document outline easily using the Doc Access product. And last but not least, you can also make the PDF content, it also makes the PDF content mobile friendly. Next slide, Katie. Thank you. So what does this mean for board meetings, which I'm sure you're all very interested in? And basically, and there's a running theme here, we've streamlined the process. We've basically taken agendas, minutes, and documents related to board materials are all directly available and stored on the new website. So there's no more Laserfish, no more other documents, things like that that are sorted out there. Everything is in one place. It is also, because of that, it's fully searchable using the website search engine. So you just go to the homepage on the website, type in whatever document, whatever board item, type of thing you're looking for, and boom, it's going to come right up. And again, the theme is all these documents are now ADA compliant, which is absolutely critical with the new legislation coming out. So that is what Doc Access enables, that ADA compliance. One thing that you will notice is in the agenda, hyperlinks have been removed. This is actually due to accessibility best practices. It's just not recommended. And so that's why we've actually removed that, and to make it easier for the screen readers to actually read the document. We've also, you'll notice if you peruse the new website, we currently have 3 years of board meeting documentation available. The reason for that is many different reasons, but basically, older meetings are archived and available to staff and board members on a back end system. So you all, staff and board members can still access older history easily. CSDA guidelines actually recommend posting 6 months of agendas minutes. CRPD is providing 3 years. We felt that that was a good balance between compliance, costs, and transparency. And of course, older agendas minutes and materials will be available to the public on request. Should they require or request anything, we will provide that to them. And last but not least, you may also notice now our board video recordings are directly accessible through the website. So if you go back if you check back in in about a week or less for this meeting, or look at some of the prior meetings, you can actually click on the meeting outline in the in the program, and you will actually see the videos embedded right in the web page. Makes it really nice if you want to review or what was said or what was discussed or things like that. Makes it super easy. And that's all I have. So Juan and Shar, did you have more, or is there questions?
But do you have any questions?
Okay, yeah, Director Huffer.
Yes, you mentioned the presentation that no longer have hyperlinks in the agenda, which doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but within the documents themselves, I know quite a few times the information that we're given will link to an earlier document. Are those hyperlinks still available to earlier versions of a document, or something that's referred to in our packet from prior times?
Sure. So let me tackle that one. So the issue with hyperlinks in general is that you'll probably remember that when we put them in board reports, we kind of shorten the name as an easy click, and that's not ADA accessible. It needs to actually read the entire link so that the screen reader could direct someone to find the document. So we can still do that. But it's going to be the full link is in there. And then when we click it, that document we're referring to does have to be ADA. So it is an additional step for staff. If it's like an older document, we'll have to bring it up out of archive and make it available, but we're still going to have that ability. It's just those little quick links from the agenda to the item we're not able to do anymore.
Okay, because I know quite a few times the reports that we get will refer back to an earlier version of a contract or whatever it might be. So.
Yes, and so we'll still be able to do that. It just won't look as simple. It'll have the full stream of where it is.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other comments or questions? Had one question. I've heard the term several times, a screen reader. Could you explain what a screen reader is?
So for those that are hard of seeing, basically they have trouble actually viewing a physical screen. So what ends up happening is via a screen reader, they would actually tab over certain parts of the website. And so when you tab, it will start off with like the top left part of the screen. It'll read whatever part it's on. So a person who can't see can be able to hear and say, oh, this is the home section. Let me press enter, and it'll take them directly to the home section. So in a way, it's a way to make it easier for people to just audibly browse the website.
And is that like a physical piece of equipment, or is that software? What is that?
Typically, it's a software that's older. It already comes pre-installed on a lot of computers, but some people might want fancier ones, and they can install those as well.
Oh, so it's usually available on the computer itself. Just most people don't need to use it.
Right.
I see. Okay, so it's a feature of most computers then.
Yes.
Oh, very good. Okay, all right. Um, any other questions? I had a couple more here. Oh, go ahead. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Just really quickly, thank you so much for your guys' presentation. It's a lovely website. I've been perusing it for the last week, and it's really fun. I was just curious about the community input that you guys had received. What were some of the themes that you were able to implement in this update?
So a lot of them, yeah, they just wanted a website that was a little bit more easy to navigate, easier to find. a popular item that they like to look for is like the senior nutrition program menus and making that accessible, easier to find on the website. And just, you know, to each their own. Like if somebody's interested in pickleball, you know, we had a lot of pickleball comments there too. So, and then kids camps, you know, where can I find it? How can I make it easier? So that's where we took all of the content, just kind of gave it a big overhaul of like how to reorganize it. So, mhm.
If I could also chime in. On top of that, we also looked at the traffic on our website, and actually what you see on our screen right now, those 5 buttons are actually the 5 most visited pages on our previous website. So we made it a point to make those the easiest accessible on the new one, on the new website.
Great, thank you so much.
Can I add one
Yes.
more thing too? Just, they didn't mention that Hillcrest Center for the Arts and the Teen Center used to be their own websites, and were paying for those websites. They're now integrated into this website as microsites. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Make sure I'm using the right language. And so everything can be gotten to from this website now. So hopefully it'll be easier to see it and people will know that it's part of CRPD. In fact, Juan's navigating there now, so you
Mm.
can see it.
Director Buss, you had a question?
No, just a comment
yeah.
that, yeah, I've had to make several websites. I'm in the middle of 2 right now, and I have to say it looks so much better and it's so much easier to use. And all the texts I always get from friends were like, "Hey, are the fields open?" Or "Do you know how I could get open gym?" I was like, "That's hilarious," because my husband's literally like, "I need an open gym." So I'm like, "This is great that you have those buttons and that you took that research and then made those," because those are kind of the things that people always ask me, and I just think it looks so much prettier. So love it.
You-
Great job.
You got it?
You want me to talk
Go
about
ahead.
fields? Okay, so can you navigate to our fields? You talked about fields and open fields, and the really cool thing about Streamline is they've also integrated like a Google Sheets. Before, when our staff would update field conditions, it would be the grounds guys calling it into sports, and then sports would have to log in and just pretty much do the updates on the back end of the website. However, now we've created a Google Forms or Google Sheets where all of these are this is all Excel, right? Or tables, and we've given access to all of the guys out in the field, and every day or whenever they need to update field conditions, they just log into their Gmail account and then get access the form, and they could just tab the field conditions that's highlighted in green. So it's just pretty much real time, you know, and it's got a timestamp of when they've updated those. So really cool. Again, the word streamlined, it just carries on. So yeah.
Yes, Director Hufford.
Follow-up question, Rochelle, you mentioned that several of the centers like Global and Teen Center basically set up their own web pages. And now, I mean, it's great that everything is, you know, consistent, same design and everything. But are users, whether it's the Global Center or here or someplace else, are they able to make changes to web pages themselves, or does everything have to go to Streamline, who then makes the changes and then it comes back?
Streamline won't do any of that. They'll assist us. So really, it's our marketing department that will do all design and everything. There's maybe 10 or less people that have access to the back side of this to make any changes to it. That way it stays with branding. For Global, and I'm sorry, for the Teen Center and Hillcrest Center for the Arts, because they have a sub-page, they do have access to make some adjustments to theirs, which our marketing department will continue to check on a regular basis and make sure they're meeting branding, but it's more like adding special information type things. So
Okay,
go through marketing.
thank you.
Anybody else? A couple comments from me. My previous way of navigating was sending an email to the general manager or the executives. Where do I find this on the website? That was my way of navigating, because I get frustrated. I couldn't find what I was looking for. So I'm hopeful that that will have now been addressed, because I've been involved with this in the past, where I had to help with the previous job, try to make sure the right content was there, and always having to update the content. And but the challenge was that when city staff, in that case, was organizing the website, they all knew the organizational structure of the city, and they put it based on that structure, rather than the public, who is clueless about how things are organized, and they just want to know where things are at. So I trust that that has been now fully integrated, and it sounds like you are, with things that are important being, at the forefront. Um, But with that said, I presume there will be a transition period as the public gets familiar with this and will be asking questions or providing input. Is it flexible enough where you can go in and make some changes? I say instantaneously, obviously I have to do a little research, where you can continue to keep up and keep it current and usable.
Yes, actually, it's fairly easy to update the website on a moment's notice. Actually, if anything, we've had our director, director?
Yeah, whatever.
Director Rochelle, big changes to the website on her
If
end.
I can do it, it's easy, so we're good. It is super easy. It's really fast, you guys. Streamline is super available. These guys are amazing. In the 6 months, what these two and Mark and the IT team are able to do. But I mean, yeah, like I was like, let me see if I can do this. So on some of the pages, I went in and added pictures and changed words, and like I'm not going to do it in the future. I'm going to let them do it, but it is very easy program to use. Also, when searching too, like they had said before, like I am also someone that would much rather just put my topic in the search bar and have it find it for me. So that should be easier, but in the studies, we did try to learn how people find things and make a lot less clicks, because in our last website, there were so many clicks to get to anything. So we're really trying to make it as few clicks as possible and also super easy in the search bar.
Mhm. Good, yeah, I was always told that if it's more than 3 clicks, it's beyond usable. I was just going to mention, having gone to some of the conferences that we go to, there's always a huddle of people around the Streamline booth.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the most popular booths out there. So they've got a good rapport. So Mark, if you're listening, thanks for your help. You guys apparently have got something dialed in, so thanks for your help with that.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I guess we'll just wait to hear what the public has to say and look forward to it. But thank you for the presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Next, we have an additional special presentation. We have Mark Gaffney with the Arts Council of the Conejo Valley. So Brian, welcome, and we look
Yeah.
forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols and the board. Thank you for having us come out today. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm Brian Gaffney. I am the president of the Arts Council. I just came in July, but I've been effectively on the board since 2019 as their digital director. So I'll bring you back up to speed here. We won't take a lot of time going through our website today, but it is easy to use as well, and maybe not as compliant, but we'll look into that. So if you're not familiar with the Arts Council, our mission really here in town is to support a vibrant cultural community through mainly artistic and educational programs and events and partnerships that we believe enrich the lives of all the residents here in the Conejo Valley. Next slide, please. Oh, I do. Cool, I can do it. So let's go next slide. So we've been around since 1969, just 5 years after the city was incorporated. And shortly thereafter, we got together with the CRPD. So we've been partners for a long time, and we really respect that partnership because we believe we have a shared mission in supporting the arts and the culture and the overall community here in the Conejo Valley. So one of the programs that we had, besides like funding band instruments and some of the local music programs here within CRPD, the other side is the summer concerts in the park. these have been great events for the community out at Hendricks Park. We always come out and set up a tent and support with CRPD. We'll bring in a member organization. This last concert, we had the Westlake Village Art Guild, and they were doing plain art, watercolor painting of the concert and of the band. And we got a lot of sponsorship from the community there because they're coming through going, oh, wow, I didn't even know this existed or what this other organization was. Prior to that, in the last concert, we had Art Track, and we were doing face painting with the children. And again, the parents loved it, the kids loved it. And it's something that really brings together families and together with art. And so doing the summer concerts has really been effective for us in the marketing side, but it's also, I think, a good approach for the community when they come out there to see that there's just more than music and sports, but art's a big part of it. And there's only two galleries here that are open to the public in the Conejo Valley, the one at the Newberry Park Library and the one here at the Galleria and the Hillcrest Center. And I hope you're appreciating the People and Places exhibit that we just put on. It's been a fantastic show. We showcase about 4 to 5 art exhibits throughout the year. And we could do more of those. We're really interested in there because it's starting to expand. There's a lot of attention as we move forward in the world with AI to have people come out and be able to create art. So we're actually opening up our what used to be just painting and sculpture and hand drawing and so on to actually bring in digital art beyond that with AI as well. So that's exciting. One of the things that is really my most exciting venture and really why I got involved with the Arts Council was the scholarship programs, specifically with Hang with the Best. My son got involved with it. And of course, he got involved, I got involved. And next thing you know, I was promoting it amongst the schools and the teachers, and it's really grown. Hang with the Best goes from 6th grade to 12th grade. And last year we had to actually turn away art because we could only hang about 180 pieces here. So I'd love to work with you guys down the road to maybe expand our hook and wire system to have maybe 2 levels, to have more art, because it's just really, I think, for anybody coming into the facility here, working here, it's really pleasant, but also the people that come out and come into the Conejo Valley just to see these exhibits, because a lot of the personal artists are promoting themselves saying, oh, I'm actually exhibiting at the Galleria. So a lot of artists had never been shown at a gallery before. Their first showing was here, and they really got excited about it. Some of the students I've seen go from 6th grade all the way through to 12th grade. Well, I've encouraged them to go into our next scholarship, which is the William and Elaine Williams Legacy Scholarship. It's really just for seniors and freshmen in college, and it's focused on the visual arts as well as the performing arts. And some of those performing artists, we've actually rehired. My wife's brought them in for the Westlake Women's Club to perform. We've had some great events here with the Jubilee. There's just so much talent in the community, and having these programs with the Arts Council to help encourage them is something that's important to us. And all those events have been hosted here at the Hillcrest Center. So we also manage member organizations. So we have about 25 member organizations that we help promote. Go when they didn't have a website, we were, their website for them. Everyone has a website now. Really, the biggest value we have is we provide an insurance rider so that people coming here into the Hillcrest Center doing that, they have insurance. We protect them on that side. So we enable safe, secure events here at the CRPD, along with these programs that are coming in, primarily using the stages and singing and stuff like that. So that insurance policy that we provide is very helpful, and they get a member discount on that insurance when they use the stages here. And the one that I'm most excited about, and I'd also like to talk to you more about, is our public arts program. I'm sure you see Parker every day when you do come into the facility here, but we have about 24, soon to be 25 of our Conejo Cottontails now throughout the community. They're getting more widely recognized, and people are actually wanting them. So we have about 3 in the making right now. And coming up May 3rd of 2026, we're going to be hosting the Conejo Cottontails Classic Tour. It's going to be a 3-tiered event where we're going to start out with a professional bike race that'll be starting out at the Jan's Mall, going around a 64-kilometer tour. Then we have a 3-tiered tour for families where you can go through Westlake Village or through Thousand Oaks, or the Hilly Newberry Park tour going up to the hospital and up to KCLU for the more, more quality bike riders that can handle that. It's certainly not me. But we're going to also make it available with maps so that they can go through this. And then there's a third tier to it where we're going to have a community cottontail that people can paint. And so you can actually go to a gala at Art Trek where you're going to be able to have entertainment and hosting, and we're going to have wooden cottontails that people can paint, mock up. We're going to go to the schools in advance and extend our Hang with the Best program with these cottontails to get the students. We want to build that next generation of artists that can come in and paint cottontails. We'd love to see with the rollout of the Annenberg Wildlife Crossing from out that region all the way up through the Conejo grade to see cottontails, populate and beautify our region. It's really a great program, and we've gotten a lot of traction with it. So looking ahead, we want to continue our partnership and our legacy with the CRPD. We really appreciate it and support you guys and love the support we get back. Not just from using the facilities here, but also the recognition and as well as, the programs and the partnerships that we bring. We believe it's all rooted in the arts and the parks and the people. So it's a commitment to the community through the enrichment of the arts, and together, I believe we strengthen the value and the cultural fabric of our community. So we want to continue to work with you, and our Cottontail Classic, as I mentioned, that's going to be coming up May 3rd. We'd love to really work with you to promote that and sponsor it to get involved. And we'd like to actually try to bring some funds back in so that if you stay with this facility, I love this facility. I can actually see it from my house across the way. I live across the freeway, but high enough on Lynn Road that I can look over and see this. And always, as an architectural fan, I've loved this space. So I just can't, believe I get to now come here and work here, and so it's very exciting to me. And so we want to extend this relationship and be able to maybe invest down the road. If you do stay here with some lighting improvements and more places to hang out throughout the location, even in some of these rooms and so on, because we think we could expand and beautify it even further. So some of these investments we want to make, we want to be able to channel back in and talk to you about that as we go forward. So those are further things to look ahead with, but with that, that's sort of what's up with the Arts Council and the ACCB. And if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer them for you.
Thank you for the presentation. I certainly open it up to, yes, Director Cusper.
Thank you very much. I'm a real supporter and lover of the Arts Council. I think it's one of the best things we have in our community. So
Awesome.
I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate all of your work. I wanted to say that at the concerts, I really love that you're with, I think, our park staff adding a lot of the crafts and stuff. My grandkids really love that. So that's added another added level to the concerts. They were good before, but I think that's even made it better. I was wondering, have you thought of making kind of a permanent museum here somewhere? I'm thrilled that we have the art gallery here, and I love the art gallery that's over by the Newbury Park Library, but is that just not feasible? Is it too expensive? Is it anything that you've ever thought of having a museum with maybe a permanent collection? Something maybe we're thinking we don't need, but there's kind of a lack of that in Ventura County.
I agree with you. There is another organization, the Conejo Valley Art Museum, which has been formed, and they're looking for a home. They're looking for a space. They've talked to us because we feel that we could also align with them quite easily to sort of bring and expand upon some of our art curation shows. We do these showings, we put them out there, they stay for a period of time, and then the art pulls back. And I'd love to see the artists have a way to monetize that art further and to have more events. I just came back last week from the art walk in Ventura, and it was just packed, the amount of people coming into town. And our William and Elaine the Legacy Scholarship is actually funded from the old art walks that used to happen here in town. So I'd love to see a museum come to space, something that could really bring in high quality artists in the Valley. Our last placement of the Cottontail Risky Rabbit that's over at Tarantula Hill is actually by an artist named Kelly Risk. He's a published artist with like the Park West galleries. He's shown worldwide. He's done buildings. I mean, he's high end, and there are other high end artists here in the Conejo Valley that we would love to see have a permanent installation. So it's something we need to work with. So between the Conejo Valley Art Museum, somebody that's got some real estate that they want to share with us. So I know there's transitions and plans throughout the community for our total town. And it's really, I think, somebody finding and giving up that space that we can actually, dedicate and make a permanent space. The problem is quite often that somebody will offer it up for a short period of time, or the mall will offer something up, but it's not a long-term commitment. So it's hard to make that commitment to the other artist to bring in a permanent side, but it's something that we've been looking at and talking to, and I think it's the Conejo Valley Art Museum that's already got the shell framework built and been going out there. They have the board built up. They just need to find the location.
So is the Conejo Valley Art Museum the organization that was at the Jans Mall or the one that was at the
Yes, that
Thousand
was
Oaks
at
Mall?
originally, yeah, the CVARC that was there for a short period of time, and they were doing some really nice stuff in there, but the mall has changed hands and, rents, all that. They were sort of bound by those restrictions. So I think it's needs to be something that's not going to tie them into a financial burden, because they'll never be able to manage it. It needs to be almost a donated space.
So I was also wondering with your bunny tour, you're saying you're going to have one day of it, but would there be like somewhere published where these were if you just wanted on another day to go and find all the bunnies?
Yeah,
Like
so
a,
actually on our website today, if you go to the Arts Council or Conejo arts.org website, there is a pull down right from programs to Conejo Cottontails, and the first click you can get to, so that's 3 clicks, you can get to the actual map that would show you where all the bunnies are located in town. It's updated about every 2 months. We're usually about a bunny behind, but it's all there, and it has little stories about the artists. So the final conclusion of that day, where we have the Cottontail Classic, we're going to finish with what we call the Cottontails, where some of the artists are actually going to come out and talk about their art while people are sitting there painting the community cottontails. So it's an educational event. It's going to be a community event. And we hope that through that process and sponsorship, other corporations and companies will say, well, we want a cottontail as well. So we're excited to see growth in that public art. And the first cottontail we placed was here with Parker with the CRPD. So thank you for that. I think you helped us kick it off. And again, that public awareness and public art is just a great thing for the Conejo Valley.
so you said that I can get this information off the CRPD website?
Correct, and or Art Trek, but
Okay.
go into the ConejoArts.org website.
No, don't tell me. I'm going to see how easy it is for me to find this.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
Um,
There's a bunny on the main page. Click.
and have you ever, and have you ever thought of having any other public art in Conejo Valley besides the rabbits?
I have been a big champion of it. I travel quite a bit in my business, and I go to cities, and everywhere I look, there's a lot of public art, and it's actually been growing from Las Vegas to Palm Springs, Palm Desert. There's just like cities that are populated with art. So again, from the Annenberg Wildlife Crossing all the way up to 101, I would love to see art along that way. We have a lot of on ramps and off ramps with big open spaces here in the city that I would love to see, instead of just weeds and brick, public art. And it doesn't have to just be cottontail, but something that represents. Look at the logo that represents the CRPD, right? Our trees are an amazing thing. I'd love to see art associated with that, and everything just represents the Conejo Valley. So yes, to public art, and that's why we're pushing this Conejo Cottontail race. It's not just a fundraiser, but it's really to bring awareness to public art.
And again, what is your position with the Arts Council?
I'm the president.
You're the president. Okay. Main guy here. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, any other questions or comments? Yes, Director Buss.
So how much does it cost to get a cottontail in front of your property?
So it's $7,500. We started out at 3,500, and we were losing money left, right, and center. And we realized that besides paying the artist, the cottontails degrade over time in the sun. So we wound up finding a technique and a automotive company that put a special coating on there, and we had to pay them. And by the time we actually realized cost and management amongst artists, that we had to actually make some money to continue this on, it's 7,500. But we have been talking about a smaller cottontail, so that businesses that might want to have one that can't actually put it outside permanently, that maybe want to have it in their storefront. So there's a lot of discussion about maybe making a smaller, more affordable cottontail that could be spread amongst other vendors.
No, I love it. I used to support, well, Richard Williams, we were in Rotary together and
Yep.
he was a very persistent man. So I supported the scholarship for a while. And then I don't know, when he passed away, kind of got lost touch with it all, but would love to support it again. My sister and I both did. And my sister went to school for fine art. I always say she got her degree in finger painting from UCSD. um, but yeah, I think it's great that everything that you guys do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Yes, Director Huffer?
Thank you very much for the presentation. When I first got involved with the Park District, I just thought Park District was involved in parks and recreation but the involvement that we have with various arts organizations and particularly with your organization, I think, I don't know if it's unique, but it's certainly, unusual, I think, in the industry. So I think it's great that we have it. I mentioned to somebody earlier today, walking down the hallway, uh, I always enjoy looking at the artwork, the photographs, whatever happens to be up there. And I'm always a little sad if I come in and apparently they're between exhibits and all you have are those wires hanging there. I think, oh, that's so depressing. So, try to minimize the amount of time that we don't have something that's displaying up there.
I appreciate that.
The fact that you're involved with music programs in the local schools, I think is terrific. I know some of us who are old enough and grew up in school districts where the school districts themselves could provide all of the chorus and orchestra and band. And now school districts rely on outside organizations like yours and the Park District and other groups to make sure that the kids do have an opportunity to participate in music. Again, whether it's chorus or band. I was a terrible band member myself, but it's terrific that you're doing that. And then the last thing you mentioned, public art, and that you've seen some other areas. I have a sister who lives up in Lake Oswego in Oregon, and I'm not sure of the details of how they're programmed, but basically they have artists who display outdoor art. And I don't know if they're displayed for 6 months or a year, but the public in the city votes on which piece of art they like the best, and that one then becomes a permanent piece of art for the community. And something like that, I think, is pretty neat. So anyway, thank you for the information, and thank you so much for what the Arts Council does.
Well, thank you to the CRPD.
Any other comments? If not, I had just a couple of comments as well. In reference to our hall exhibit gallery, as we've been talking to the city about perhaps acquiring this facility, one of the things that kept coming up was the value that this facility provides to the arts community. And we mentioned many times about the hallway and the gallery, and many of the folks that we talked to, whether it be city staff or city council members, were aware that that was part of it. So it's kind of left a mark as to what this facility offers. It's not just the performing arts, it's not just the administrative, but it's also a gallery. So we're looking forward to that continuing. We're trying to work that direction. It's not that the city's against it. We're just trying to find that happy place in between. But I don't know, it might be worthwhile for you to give a similar presentation at the city council meeting. You're just kind of.
I would love to. I did have a chance. They had us talk about the city event grants, and they came around the city of Thousand Oaks TV, did a couple of presentations out of all the organizations they've given grants to, and we were one of the three that they actually put into the TV stream. But we actually recorded it here inside the Galleria, and it just looked great. And I made reference quite often to the CRPD and our relationship. So I agree with you. I think if you do stay in this building, I would love to see that. And the driveway coming up here, the building, all the other rooms, there could be a lot of art in there. So if we could ever assist in that, let us know.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a community facility now, and we're hoping to keep it that way. Doesn't really matter, who's the primary caretaker. It's really the community facility. We're just trying to keep it that way. But thank you for your presentation. Thank you for the work. It's partnerships like this and organizations like this that that we just try to, elevate because, a lot of times it's just working together is what makes it happen. So thank you for being a part of that and thank you for coming tonight.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you. All right. Next is items from the public. Do we have anybody online wishing to address the board? Okay. No? Okay, and I have no cards here, so nothing at this point from items from the public. With that, we have approval of the agenda, which is next. If there's any changes, speak up. Otherwise, if there's a motion to approve the agenda. Thank you.
I'll second.
And a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, we're moving forward. Next, we have a consent calendar regarding the minutes and the warrants. Any changes or comments on that? And if not, a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve it.
Thank
And
you.
I'll second that.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We have no deferred matters. We have no items for discussion. Next is new items, so I'm going to ask our executive assistant, but let's see, tonight you're a clerk of the board. So just so you know, I need to have like these multiple titles. If you please read this item into the record for us, please.
Yes. Item 9A, approve updated master plan via adoption of resolution number 100225-A to approve the addendum amending the negative declaration and making findings relating to the approval of an updated master plan for the Conejo Recreation and Park District.
Thank you very much. I thought it was kind of a mouthful on that one. But thank you for that. And so I guess I'm just going to pass this off to Director Mooney.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So thank you, Chair Nichols, members of the board. Just to remind you, we initiated the master plan update back in October of 24. We brought back the master plan again in February 2025 for comments. So basically kicked it off in October, put that out to the public as well as the board to review, revisited it in early 2025 in February. And now I'm back to say we're done, hopefully. We do have a couple items in regard to this board report. So there is some environmental that goes with this. Back in 2011, we had a negative declaration approved by the board in coordination with our environmental consultant. An addendum was a necessary item to review. So basically, the negative deck stands. We had negative declaration stands. The addendum, however, is just because we did change some things, but those changes were insignificant. So it's basically saying, hey, we took a look at it per the standard of CEQA. We reviewed it, and due to the fact of minor technical changes, as well as those changes that did not create that significant change, that's why we did the addendum. And so just to remind you, typically every 10 years, we revisit the master plan based on census data. So those changes are the population changes. We did not change any boundaries of the prior approved master plan by the board. We didn't, pop on a bunch of new park sites that we're possibly going to purchase or possibly build, all that type of stuff. We just took a look at our existing inventory. And so again, this is a guiding document that evolves in time. So annually we take a look at this. So basically, because we had that census data change, we felt it necessary and in coordination with our consultant that we go through that CEQA process. And so the addendum is attached as well as the original report back in 2011 with the negative declaration. And then part of our just kind of annual update, we do have our capital work that got completed last fiscal year. So with that, the board approved 25 projects last year. As of July 1 of 2025, 13 projects were completed, 10 were in progress and will be carried over. So my staff is currently working on those projects now. And 2 will not be done. A total of about 2.2 million was spent last fiscal year for capital projects. And so if you go to page 51, there's an 11x17 that shows all that. The blue projects are complete. The green projects are progress and the white projects will not be done. Very typical standard of what we bring to the board every fall, after the close of the fiscal year. It coincides, like you guys will be seeing the second quarter update after some work gets done for this next fiscal year. But this is kind of like the annual process of kind of closing the book. What did we get done in pages or in years that we've developed, such as Page Lane? That would be updated in the master plan. Well, since we didn't develop any new parks or expand any existing parks, the master plan is basically being memorialized in 2025, depending on the board's approval tonight. And then that's really the third item, is just approving the master plan. As I mentioned, we've put this through the review, trying to make it more readable. Got comments back from the board. My staff has reviewed it quite a bit. Myself, general manager, all of our staff is happy with the document. And with that, I'm available for questions.
Thank you for that. Board members, comments or questions? Director Cuthbert?
I'm just curious as to why the two projects that aren't being done are both at the Shumash Museum.
Yeah, so one of those projects was a grant project, and they just chose not to move forward with the project. So we would just be in coordination with them, maybe completing that in future years. The other one was a staff-driven project, and we were taking a look at that project, and right now it wasn't the best timing to get that work done. And so we would be revisiting that in the future. So just things change. So basically there was some change there from what was approved last budget cycle to this second year of the budget. So.
Anything else? Director Buss?
I have a question. I keep driving because I have to keep driving Dos Vientos, drop my kids off over there. When are the skate park? Are you
Yeah, so
still
we're-
waiting on permits?
Yep. Yeah, we're in permit review. We've gone through, I think we might be on our second round of permits. So we're working with building and safety. So we're trying to button that stuff up, hopefully in the coming weeks to month. And then we would be ready to get going with construction. So our contractor's ready to go, and we're in communication with them on
Okay.
that. So,
Yeah,
and to remind you
it's
that
like-
the design build, so we're
Yeah.
working with the architects, and it's the same group that will be building that project. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I keep driving by and I'm like,
Yep.
weren't we supposed
Yeah,
to be
we-
closing this down?
Yeah, so April, the board awarded that contract, and then we were already in the works of permits, and so we've just been going through the city review process, so.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Director Huffer?
Yeah, I just want to compliment you and everybody that was involved in putting this together. There's a lot of great information in there. I don't know if I want to say enjoyed it, but I found the section on all the various possible funding methods for future projects really informative. I'm not sure that I had seen all of the possible funding methods in one place like that. So that was really helpful. I should have sent it to you rather than to Jim, but there were just.
I got
two-
it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Minor typos, we'll take care of it. Yep.
Okay. All right.
And we will debate on printing new ones, but we might do not so much whiteout and pen, but we'll get it addressed, and then we'll make sure the digital copy is reflected with those.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Director Roscoe?
I'd just like to add a comment just to say thank you so much for all of the blood, sweat, and tears that went into updating the master plan. It's been really fun to see the evolution of it and to read a nearly final draft version of it from, I'll say I almost read it start to finish. But thank you so much.
I also want to extend my thanks. I know I marked up a draft pretty thoroughly.
What?
And you got about half of it.
What?
No, just kidding.
Good.
I appreciate accepting the comments, and well, a lot of it is just my personal comments. I mean, not necessarily, been something that, was appropriate as far as the staff was concerned, but I think you definitely incorporated that. I do really like the way that that one section was moved to the back as an appendix. I think that really cleans up the the readability of the actual plan itself. I think I mean, I don't know how many people are going to read through it, but I think it does help for the, the flow of it. So thank you for doing that. And I know staff probably wrestled through a lot of those as far as, how we do things. But, just like anything else, it's a living and breathing document. And just as was pointed out, as soon as it's printed, there's something that needs to be changed, There'll be changes, whether it's funding, something else. But you gotta document it and keep going. So that's what plans are for. You plan and then you revise and update a plan. And so I think this is a good plan. It points us in a good direction. I think it encapsulates, the board's input, blends it with the staff input, and I believe also the community input. So it puts all that together, and look forward to using that. And I just want to make for the record, Director Moody, I know I had questioned you about the wildfire issue because, in the intervening years since 2011, CEQA has changed, and now wildfire is a separate category. It used to be in hazards and hazardous materials, and it wasn't specifically pointed out. But if you could clarify that it was in fact addressed, because I know that's a area of significant concern these days.
Sure, yeah, and so since this negative declaration was done in 2011, CEQA has changed, right? It's evolved. Part of the addendum is because there isn't a significant change in that document. So with that, adding with wildfire, and I should have added this just generally speaking as part of the report presentation, but whenever we go build anything, or expand something, or purchase a property and develop a brand new park, we have to go through that environmental process. And so what we would do is make sure CEQA to that date would be addressed through for that specific project. So depending on what type of facility it is, does it have a building, is it close to open space, does it need additional access due to wildfire or other requirements to that fact. So that's the layer there with it, because again, it's a project per CEQA. This is a project, but in my mind, I look at it as a paper project versus a built brick and mortar project, right? So if that addresses it, perfect. Yeah, and then just to add, really appreciate the perspective from the board through the process with this. I know my staff spent a lot of time, so yours actually didn't have the most markups. But it's we had 4 or 5 sets of master plans with 50 to 60, whether it's simple typos or, hey, this doesn't read right, what are we trying to say here? And I think it was a really good team effort. Jim was really involved in this with me through the process, which was great. And then also want to, tip my hat to Jody, because she always makes us look good. Just with, hey, whether it's wording, punctuation, formatting, all that good stuff. She was a big part of this to refine this document to get it where it's at. So, as well as some other staff. So
Very good. Thank you. Anything else? Okay, if no other comments, we do have staff recommendation for 3 items here: to adopt a resolution, approve the plan, and approve the updated master plan. So if someone cares to make a motion for that. All right, Director Huffer. Oh, all right, Director Cusworth, you're up. Go ahead. Rock, paper,
Okay,
scissors.
I'd like to make a recommendation that we adopt resolution number 100225-A, approving the addendum, amending the negative declaration, and making findings relating to the approval of an updated master plan for the Conejo Recreation and Park District. Approve and adopt the updated Conejo Recreation and Park District Master Plan, and approve the annual update of the completed projects to the master plan, that it be read in title only and all future readings be waived.
Okay. Yep. Oh, that's good.
Oh, don't look at me like that.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. I see nobody raising hands to do this. So, Madam Clerk, if you would be so kind as to read the title of the resolution into the record for us, please.
You have 2 Madam Clerks this evening, so I'm going to read
Oh,
the
well.
last resolution.
You can, I'm not going to fight either one of you,
Okay.
so just go.
Good decision. So this is Resolution 100225-A, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Conejo Recreation and Park District adopting CEQA findings and making findings relating to the approval of the Conejo Recreation and Park District Master Plan, addendum to negative declaration.
Thank you very much. And with that reading, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Thank you, staff, for pulling that together. Okay, next is 9B, Madam Clerks. If one of you would be so kind as to read item B into the record.
Yes. Item B, authorized purchase of roofing system and installation services from Channel Islands Roofing Incorporated.
Thank you very much. Okay, and this will again go back to Director Mooney.
Thanks, Chair Nichols, members of the board. So going from master plan, every property possible, to 7,500 square feet of roofing at one of our community center gymnasiums. We, CRPD, developed the community center back in 1974, purchased the property back in 1970. From staff, we have staff in the Parks Department that's approaching 30 years. To our knowledge, we believe that's the original roof that's on the gymnasium. We have changed, it's a flat roof, so it's a hot mop, flat gravel and paper roof. We have changed roofing around the perimeter, so we do have composite shingle around for the other 50% or so of the 14,000 square foot community center. And so what we are looking at doing is improving, right? So we are looking at, it's a really, really good technology system. You know, we do this with all of our projects. We kind of take a look at, hey, how can we make this better? How can we do it so we don't have to replace it sooner? All that type of stuff. Invest into the park system, right? And so staff went through the proposal process, and the proposal that stood out the most was with Channel Islands Roofing. It's a PVC liner system, so it's actually like rolled PVC. So it's plastic, right? There's different forms of it. Some of it's a little bit more flexible. Most people are familiar with PVC as like irrigation pipe, right? So it's still flexible, but it's more rigid, right? But basically rolling out a new roof structure, we would be stripping down to the sheeting, replacing any damaged wood product, all that type of stuff, making sure we got a good foundation and a base, and then putting down a barrier membrane system, and then the final roofing system on top of that. And so we went through talking with a couple different installers and product suppliers and stuff. Per our purchasing policy that the board approves, you guys most recently approved it through our budget process this past year. This is considered a general service maintenance work. So general manager has authority up to 75,000. Well, this costs more than 75,000. As noted in the report, $129,400. So we went through that proposal process. We reviewed it with our park facility staff, and this was the one that we wanted to move forward with. Multiple factors with that. So that's proposal approach. How are they going to go about doing the job? Where or how much experience do they have? What are the warranties, servicing of those warranties and obligations, as well as just general product performance, and then price. Price always comes into factor, right? So basically, we're gonna strip the roof, put a new roof on for $129,000, and the intent would be that if we see additional issues, we'll address that as needed. So we do have money left over for contingency there. The board approved a $150,000 project based on that to kind of give us some flexibility there back in June. And we were familiar with Channel Islands Roofing. I already mentioned the product warranty is 20-year product warranty, specifically how many years, and we do have a 5-year install labor warranty for workmanship of them installing that product. This company has worked for public and private projects. Most recently, they worked with Conejo Valley Unified School District. So locally, they've done work. Obviously, they're in the county. Yeah, with that, I am available for questions.
Thank you very much. Questions of staff? All right, Director Buss, go ahead. You're closest.
Are they taking off the composition shingle too, or is this
No.
just for the flat roof?
Just the
part?
flat roof. So it's about 7,500 square feet for the gym. So if you look,
Okay.
it's kind of, a lot of times it's like a surrounding roof, like,
Yeah.
construction, right? So you don't
Yeah.
see the ugly stuff, right?
Right.
So we got a flat roof on top of the gym, but from the street view and walking around the building, that you see the composite shingle around that. And we've actually replaced that. I want to say we've done a couple projects within the past 3 years doing that. And unfortunately, the gymnasium roof is leaking in some spots into those new roofing areas. So it's causing problems because
Right.
that's failing. So, but we're overly solid with the composite shingle. We're not looking to replace that as part of this project. We're just doing the big gymnasium flat roof section.
Yeah. What were the other bids? The price? I guess
Uh,
for 7,500 square feet, I just got a price quote for 180,000 for, well, it's only comp shingle, but it's a 36,000 square foot building. It
Yeah.
just seems it's because it's flat.
It's because it's
Those
flat
are the most
and
expensive.
it's also because of the PVC, the warranty
Yeah,
on
that's
it.
interesting.
And part of the proposal process is we take a look at it and say, hey, what's your approach? And so some people said, hey, let's just hot mop it. Let's strip it down. Let's do it this way. This is what we would recommend. And then this PVC is obviously newer technology. Only certain companies can do it, all that type of stuff. So that's why we feel that that's the right approach to do the work versus going back to what they did back in the 70s.
What is the warranty on hot mop flat roofs?
I would have to, it depends
Or
on
did you guys not get any bids for that? I was just
well,
curious.
we did, but I would have to look through the other proposals
Okay.
to see
'Cause I'm sure
specifically
it's
what they called out. Yeah.
Much less expensive, but probably not.
Yep.
Probably like a 10-year warranty. or
Well,
something.
and two, it's more up to the labor install and how they're putting it down versus the actual material versus the PVC. It's a controlled membrane, controlled product.
Yeah,
So-
flat roofs are a pain. I have a couple of those.
Amen.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
Dr. Huffer?
Yes, this is replacing only a portion of the roofing in the center there. But I was just curious if this, I know that I can't remember the document, whether it's a CIP in way that one of your documents that, do long-term projections on maintenance for each of the facilities and each of the structures within each facility. Is this figure of 130,000 within the ballpark of what you're looking at long-term, or is it small enough for the overall roofing that it really doesn't factor into the long-term replacement projections?
It does factor into it just because we know we're going to be able to get hopefully a minimum of 20 years out of the product. We might have to go back and make some repairs if we have some leaks and stuff like that, just because from workmanship, right? But from a product standpoint, that's going to pay dividends, right? We're not going to have to replace it as soon if we went with something else or we had failure with other workmanship type stuff. The document you're mentioning is the 30-year maintenance plan. And so it's a planning document. So we put thought into it. We don't just throw numbers out there. But again, it's a planning document. It's a guide to build the CIP. And so it's in line with that, but that's not to say that it's perfectly from like, oh, it's exactly how we planned it, because costs change with construction materials. And then sometimes things just don't last as much as they used to, right? Things are built differently. So all those factors kind of come into play with that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Okay. I had one question. Will this impact the use of the recreational facilities and activities of the center?
Can't say no. But we have a really good process where we're actually, Eric has been working really close. Eric Bjork's our building maintenance supervisor that will be leading the project. And so he's already had conversations with America, who's the rec supervisor at the site. Very, very minimal. We're going to be able to back up trucks. They're going to do shoots. They're going to get rid of material. They're going to be able to lift stuff up and nearly not affect. There's going to be some trucks in the parking lot. There's going to be stuff going on, but it's basically they're ready to go approximately 1 to 2 weeks of demo and reinstallation of the roof. So it should be very, very minimized.
Okay.
So
Super. All right. Any other comments or questions? And if not, I'd like to hear a motion recommendation for the staff recommendation, if anyone cared to do that.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the purchase of the roofing system as described by Director Mooning for $129,400.
Thank you. Do we have a second for that?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on to item 9C. If our Madam Clerk would please read that item into the record for us, please.
This is item 9C. It's amendment number 2 to the contract for drought response and irrigation improvement services at various park facilities.
Thank you very much. And again, Director Mooney.
Thanks, Chair Nichols, members of the board. So if you remember, I believe back in July, we brought an amendment based on our budget for drought response and irrigation improvements. We had an RFP done back in 23. Board approved that contract. We've been working really closely with FS contractors basically for the whole time I've been with the district, so over 10 years. Really good contractor to work with. We have been reviewing with the fire department our properties. And Northwood is a park site that we are interested in doing some fuel modification at. If you remember, we've gotten an awesome grant, $1 million to be able to do some work. We did some stuff at Sapwe. We've done some work at McCrae. And so it's, and that was via the Conservancy. And so what we are looking at doing is basically just expanding the opportunity to do more work with this contractor that the board already approved a contract with. We're not asking for any new money. There's no budget change on this. It's just the opportunity to do more landscaping work with this contractor. So, and we actually, Patrick and other park staff had some on-site meetings with the neighbors where we will be looking at probably affecting about 15 direct homes right in front of Northwood Park. It's the sloped area, if you're familiar with that. That's something that was pointed out as, hey, when you guys have opportunity, you guys might want to take a look at this with the fire department. It's not a, hey, go now, but it's, hey, thoughts to make our park properties more resilient when it comes to fire. So that's basically the opportunity and the amendment put in front of the board tonight, is to be able to take care of that and work through that. And that's something just commonplace that we're going to be continuing to work on with, you know, even like when we're putting in a restroom, we got to make sure what's the landscaping next to a restroom, because that's the structure, all that safety type stuff. So what our intent is to continue to kind of chip away at built parks, but then when we build new parks for resiliency, whether it's drought, whether it's fire, all that good stuff. So, but with that, I'm available for questions.
Thank you. Questions? Yes, Director Cusworth.
So is Northwood the only park you're going to do next year? Or is that just one you're considering right now? About how many parks do you think you'd be
So
doing?
currently we have Even Star was completed over summer. And this is shared in like my monthly water report that I update with the board and the public and the city and Cayugas. So we have, I believe, 5 projects, not including Northwood, on the slate to get accomplished in this budget year. So, and then we're adding Northwood in because we got that other grant money for fire.
So, when you're saying you're making them more resilient to fire, are you just like removing plants, or are you making them gorgeous botanic garden sort of looking
So
areas?
It's a balance. So specifically Northwood would be removing very woody acacia, which is it's a low to medium shrub depending on how you classify it, but it gets relatively dense, and it's more about how much mass there is there. So we would be stripping out kind of like a thicker shrub area, and we would be making sure that we don't have slope degradation issues by planting the right species, but the plants would be more spread out, and that's typical. It's called mosaic landscaping with firescaping, so it would be a mix of a mix of opportunity to be able to provide some color, some interest, some stability for the slope, but then also, so it's not just bare ugly soil, right? So some aesthetic value within the park. So very similar to what we've been able to accomplish. It just happens we're in that 50 to 100-foot zone, and in some instances in that 30-foot zone from some of our neighboring structures, neighbors structures. So just, again, just trying to be a good neighbor, be smart and safe. Northwood is one too that interfaces a bit with open space, and it's on the fringe of town. So if winds are coming through, it's an opportunity site where fire said, hey, this might be good to attack, right?
So for many years, we were removing turf, to be drought tolerant and, replacing with native plants usually, or at least beautiful landscape plants. Are you still removing turf, or are we just basically, you're saying firescape, which I hadn't really heard firescape before. Maybe you had said it. Are we mainly looking at firescape and beautification, or are you still removing turf also?
So specifically that fund is for both, is what we're using the budget line item for. Specifically, the increase of this amendment is for that fire project at Northwood. So again, it's a balance of it. So right now, we're not taking out more turf. Hopefully we get some more snow and rain this winter, but we're not looking at taking out more turf. This is just restoring mulch areas, replenishing mulch, and then this is a special project kind of on the side, if you will, with one-time money to be able to accomplish that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? I just had a question, not on this particular, but you mentioned Northwood Park. Is that work only going to take place inside the fence or on the outside of the fence as well?
So I believe there actually is a split rail fence that's along the driveway on the north side access, or along the street, the public right of way. Typically it's going to be outside on the sloped area. So no areas where current people actually use the park. It's more of like a landscape buffer, just because you have a big drop off from the homes are below the park. And then this is kind of the mid span of the slope going up to the grade at the flat park. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right. No other questions. We do have a recommendation from staff. Anyone care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, please.
I move that we authorize the general manager to enter into amendment number 2 to the contract for drought response and irrigation improvement services with FS Contractors, Inc.
Thank you. Do we have a second for that?
I'll second.
All right. Thank you, Director Huffer. All right. Have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. 3 for 3. We got that one done. All right. Next is item 10, reports and announcements. We do have a number of reports in our packet. These are just for our information only. Are there any questions of staff on any items in that packet? Okay, seeing no hands, we will, oh, I'm sorry. All right, Director Cusworth?
A question on McCray Ranch, is that sold out? Does anyone know? The Harvest Festival?
I don't believe so, but I can look it up while you guys continue the meeting.
Okay.
On that very fast and responsive website, I presume. Yes. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, then we'll move on to item 11, department reports. We'll start with the Parks Division, please.
So I will be brief, but just wanted to give an update regarding the Canary Creek West, Canary Creek Northwest outreach. So we did hold 4 meetings. Appreciate the board coming to the first meeting. Great turnout. You know, I've been working with the district for a while, and sometimes me and staff are looking at each other, and there's 1 or 2 neighbors there. I think it's great to the process that we do. You know, we don't have any money, we don't have any plans, and we just want to talk to the people using the park, right? So we had over 300 people come, some repeaters. You know, I'm not saying it's 300 fresh people, but 300 folks came between all 4 meetings. So great turnout. I also, you know, basically each one of those meetings, we got about 60 comments. You know, we did the special, not so special kind of format. You know, Tabitha was taking down notes as we went through there and doing check marks and all that stuff. But just a really good, that was every meeting. we had that much input every meeting, which is great. So I think that's really going to give us some great foundation to say, hey, what direction are we going to do at this park? What can we provide to the community to have some fun in the park, provide recreational opportunities, right? And then on top of that, I had maybe a half a dozen to a dozen phone calls with folks through the past month before the meetings and the weeks of the meetings. Got some feedback there, but then also got lots of emails too. So you know, we did a really big net. Rochelle's folks in marketing, Charlene, helped send out to over 40,000 people. I already had about a 3,000 or 2,700 person email list already from the survey outreach we did, from prior outreach on the properties. So just big net, right? Trying to cast a big net, get some good feedback. I had about another 75 to about 100 comments of, hey, I would like this, or hey, I like this, keep it special, all that's great stuff, right? So really good. I know Jim shared the broadcast that I put out because we were kind of waiting for the website to be shored up, making sure the information's there, all that good stuff the past couple weeks. And so, you know, part of that messaging is, hey, thank you. We'll be coming back to the public. We'll keep the board abreast to it, let you guys know about meetings. But early 2026, looking to get some guiding principles from all that feedback, a rough concept plan developed out of that as well. And so we'll keep you posted on that. So, but that's all I got. Available for questions.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, thank you very much. Next, we will go to our Recreation Division, please.
Thank you, Chair Nichols, members of the board. Nellie, we are sold out with 2 on the waiting list. All right, so just a couple of things I did want to do a shout out. Just again, the website has been a huge project and going on for a long time. And Mark, Shar, and Juan have been incredible with all of it. And really everybody that touches the website or has information on the website has been super helpful and has had to look at it many times. And so we are very lucky to have the team that we have to be able to get this done so quickly. So just a big thank you to them. And this website is going to save us a lot of time moving forward, staff time, once we get all the tweaks figured out. So it's going to be really, really beneficial to get some staff time to be able to do other things. So just a couple of things that have been going on. So Shelley and I have been interviewing for Raquel's position since she's moved on. So we'll see if we have a new recreation administrative assistant in the near future. We had a Conejo Coalition for Youth and Family Summit which maybe Director Buss will tell you about later. TOC had a movie, The Incredibles, on September 12th. They had about 150 people attend that, and they do have a movie this Friday. And if you go on our website, there's a really nice events calendar, and you just pop it open and you can see all the fun things this month. There's a movie on Friday. On Sunday, there's charity karaoke. On the 18th, there's Haunted Trail. And then on the 1st, there's the Day of the Dead. So you can figure out all the information and very, very easy to find. GAC is always having parties. So they had a Hooray for Hollywood, which I stopped by, and the folks were having a great time. National Charity League actually served the dinner. So they got to practice and everybody actually stayed seated and got served. It was very cute. The rec van was out, and International Rabbit Day. So far, we've given out probably about 100 Parker rabbits from kids that got the coloring books and got stamps by going to 4 events. And so that is continuing. And we do have lots of Parkers that are hiding right now. So if people want to, bring more kids out, because there's lots of fun stuff. Next event, I think that I just found on our lovely calendar, is in November on the 8th. We had a partner presentation at CVUSD. Melissa Rufio, our manager, did that presentation. She did an excellent job. If you would like to see a very cool video. You go on their website and I'm sure you can watch our little presentation. The staff put it together, Melissa's creative ideas with marketing's know-how on putting videos together was really nice. So, and they seem to appreciate it. I did do a tour with Cecilia from the chamber on some of our properties this last month, and also had a meeting with with Kenny Lou over at CVUSD in regards to some possible conversations on other things we can do in the future together. So I think that is it. Oh, and then just concerts. I don't know. We had a meeting, a few of us with Ashley, sorry. I was like, wow. Got some numbers pulled up in regards to the concert. So I thought it was interesting information. So to run our 5 concerts in the year, we raise about $40,000 and we spend about $56,000 to have our 5 concerts. So just some interesting bit of info. So with that, available for questions.
Thank you. Questions? All right, seeing none, thank you very much. We'll move on to management services, please.
Thank you, Chair and Directors. I will keep it brief. I do want to echo what Rochelle said about the work with the website. Juan and Shar and Mark and Jody's been helping us clean up a lot of those hyperlinks that Chuck was referring to. So a huge team effort on that, and it's going to make it a lot easier for us. And I know Lean's leaving, but it's going to be really easy for Raquel now. The other thing I wanted to mention was we've completed all of our audit requirements. We completed it all and we're expecting a draft by the end of the month. So we might have an audit to you by the end of the year. And I can't believe I said that out loud. So just putting that out there. I am watching a couple potential legislation that might get signed by the governor, in particular AB 339. He has until October 12th to sign it. It's one that would change how we would have to contract and probably require some changes to job descriptions if it goes through. So just putting that out there, there'll be some changes if that happens. And we're also watching some potential OSHA regulations on gates. Again, we would have to act pretty quickly if those go through. So just wanted to flag it so you're not surprised if I show up with some brand new thing about job descriptions or gates. So with that, I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Questions? All right, we'll move on to the general manager's report.
I'll be brief. The only kind of announcement or thing to mention is that tomorrow, we're going to have the opportunity to sit down with Akbar, the deputy or assistant city manager and finance director from the city, Akbar and Jamie, to start talking about the property here. So that we've been waiting to do that a while. I know they've let me know that their appraisal is completed, our appraisal is completed. So it's time to start figuring this out. So it'll be great. Again, I want to acknowledge all the hard work on the website, Rochelle and her team, and obviously pulling in Melissa's staff for the IT part. Andrew, the master plan, a lot of work coming. Melissa's been working really hard on the lines of credit, getting closer. Yeah. Okay, that's the MRCA stuff, but it is something that takes up a lot of her time. Welcome, Raquel, and thanks for being here. And we look forward to a lot of years with you in the room. And then finally, I'm not going to do any kind of speech. I'll leave that for the board members. But I do want to say, Aline, it's been a privilege and honor to work with you all these years. So thanks. That's it. Oh, we do have a need for a closed session too, by the way.
It was such a good moment.
Yeah, sorry. And we got to do work. No,
Oh, you have to stay.
yeah.
All right, thank you for that. All right, we'll go to director's reports. I'll start to my left with Director Huffer.
Not a great deal to report. We both Director Nichols and I were at the Costco board meeting a couple of weeks ago. I had intended, and I have to apologize that I was not able to make the water meeting at the Reagan Library. Something came up at the last minute, so I was not able to enjoy all of the festivities there. But other than that, just very briefly, I said most of it already to Aline, hiding back there somewhere, but everything you've done for the district, but made my life so much easier from the time I started on the board back however many years ago it was, and what you continue to do. Welcome to the world of retirement. It's really a whole lot of fun. I've enjoyed it for some 10 years or so. My only suggestion, since I was for years a financial planner and dealt with people who are retiring or nearing retirement, I always warn them, don't overdo it. You typically find out the first 3 to 5 years after you retire, you're going to end up being busier than when you were working. So try to break that string and be less busy, not more busy during your retirement, but enjoy it.
I don't think that's possible.
Thank you. Director Buss.
Okay, so I've went to a few things. I'll start off with the Conejo Youth Summit, which Raquel and Rochelle did an amazing job on. I think we had around 30 or so nonprofits, more, 40, 50 people in attendance. But yeah, 45. Yeah, so it was really great. I think that we had a panel of speakers from a young gentleman who's told his story about using some of our local nonprofits throughout his life and what it meant to him, to a couple different ones that were up there. And I think that everyone really got a lot out of it. I think that this is a great event that we put on with having the city and the school board and us involved. I think, yeah, I just think it really went well. It seemed like, and people seemed to really enjoy it. We moved it to a luncheon, and I think that actually was better. I feel like we had a higher attendance than the last two because it was a luncheon. But yeah, everyone seemed to have really positive feedback about it. So, and was really enjoying sharing what they do and hearing what the other people do. Some other things, of course, I have been spending about 10 to 15 hours a week on the soccer fields. Just want to report Conejo Creek North looks great. It's really nice. The only problem I've had is the bathrooms being locked at 8 p.m. We are there till 8:30. But otherwise it's beautiful. And then I had the fun of playing at Dos Vientos at night with my 16U team. And I will tell you, I think all the games should be for 16U at night because they are alive. It is so much better to play at night with teenagers than it is to play like a 9 a.m. game. They play, I mean, I don't know if it was like the lights and all of it, but they were just on fire. And Chuck actually reffed that game, and he reffed my first game, and he even said, he's like, it's a totally different team. So I'm really proud of my girls. I have 8 girls who have never played before, and I will tell you, you would never know it if you watch them play now. So they were awesome. I did go to a CLU women's soccer game, which I had not done, and I can't believe I have not done that. It was phenomenal. If you've never been, it's free. You just walk in. The seats are awesome. I am stealing their corner kicks, so we will see if we can implement this on Sunday. We are going to do where they don't just stand there and get, guarded up. They will run in. We practiced it all yesterday. I'm really hoping this works out because this, corner kicks, one of your best opportunities to score. So, yeah, we'll see how that works out. And then I also went to the ETI 37 horse show. I went to their, the Western one. Oh my gosh, I always mess up how you say it. I say Jamiroquai and the girls make fun of me, but it's their Gymkhana is what it's called. I don't know why that doesn't stick in my head, but it was really fun. And there was a ton of people out there. And they put on a good show. I was talking to them, and it was funny. I said, like nothing's going to happen to the equestrian. Like if anything, it would only be improved. And she said, yeah, she's like, but I think it would be a good idea if they put in one of those RC tracks.
Oh.
Is that what it's called? The remote control cars. And I was like, that is so funny from a horse person when horses spook at literally anything and everything. But I thought that was interesting, so I thought I would share that with you. That was her comment. And then, of course, Eileen, I mean, you just make everyone feel like so welcomed and at home. And for someone like myself who is just trying to maintain with all of the things that I do, dear Lord, please don't let retirement be busier than I am right now. But you have helped me through, and I could not have even done this position without you and how much you have just always been there and like, it's okay, Marissa. And I'm like, really? Are you sure? 'Cause I'm like, I feel like I'm messing up on something, but yeah. And I just really appreciate you and I'm going to miss you, but I'm happy that Raquel got it. And I didn't even realize how competitive it was. I thought she was just a shoo-in and apparently she had to go through so much, but I'm so excited that you got the position and that you're here. So we'll miss you, Eileen. And I hope you're not busier. I hope you relax and enjoy. Yeah. All right. That's it.
Thank you, Director Orozco.
Thank you, Chair. So I was able to attend the Youth and Family Summit, which was really wonderful. It was a great opportunity to not only hear from our nonprofits and individuals who are on the receiving end of those nonprofits, but see how and discuss how our three government agencies are looking to assist and to uplift those nonprofits in our community was really wonderful to hear. And then actually later that day, I went to the Zone Zero town hall that was hosted by Supervisor Gorell. And that too was a really interesting panel where it gave individuals who attended and community members a chance to hear from specialists within the fire realm and then also from individuals who were activists in the community and specialists in plants and botany and agriculture. And so it was a good balance. I didn't have a chance to stay and listen to public comment, but if anybody has spare time to listen to that town hall, I think it is hosted somewhere, and it was interesting to hear. And then on the heels of that, I went to the AWA meeting at the Ronald Reagan Library with everybody, and again. Fire and drought tolerant plants. It seems to be the zone zero policy was a heavy theme. So listening to that opinion and that level of expertise, it was insightful. Yeah, so in terms of events, that was it. And then Aline, I am so sad because I feel like everybody got so much more time with you. I just got here. But it's been really wonderful getting to know you, and I appreciate your help so much with onboarding me and listening to Jim get emotional makes me emotional because I know you guys must have like I can only imagine the bond that you have and the work that you put into CRPD is so appreciated. And I'm sorry that I still have one outstanding item with you that I never got my bio sent over to you. So sorry.
I'll just put that on your to-do list. Director Cussworth.
So, I just want to say when I'm listening to all of you talk, just briefly, it kind of takes a team. You know, you're all doing these different things and you all have different expertise and, listening to all of our guest speakers that we have, this isn't just run by one person. We have a strong team. So, I'm just very proud to be here. One of the things that I spent quite a bit of time on this last month was to put together the new executive review, which we'll see in our closed session. I know you're all, just very excited about this, but talking with Doug and Jim to try to come up with something, I'll be interested in your opinion. And I started a new venture called Leadership Conejo. It's run by the chamber, and it has just a lot of different people, representatives from different businesses, different government entities. So I went to the first session. I found it very interesting, and Xavier from Aquatics and Jesse from accounting was there, and somebody else who didn't make it to that meeting, and I'll remember what her name is next time, Corinne. And where is Corinne from?
Corinne's from Therapeutics Unit.
Okay, from Therapeutics.
And
So
she
I'll
was
meet her
getting
next
married.
time. But it was fun for me to meet a lot of people and a lot of energy, and So I'm appreciating that opportunity. I'm trying to be a little bit more involved with the chamber. And I was at the Stagecoach Board meeting and the water, and I don't remember what else I did. Maybe that was it. So Aline, you took care of us. You took care of the board. You made sure we had our paperwork. You made all of our reservations for conferences. You made all of our reservations for any community events. You were very patient when I would call you and say, I can't find my reservation. No problem. I'll get it right to you again. I'll email that to you. You were fabulous to keep us up on any info that we had to do. You fed us. You took care of food. In fact, when I went to your party today, I was very happy to see that it was Raquel that was filling up the chip bowl. Normally, that's one of the jobs they probably don't tell you you're in charge of taking care of food, with maybe Jody in there a few times. You have done an amazing job. And on top of that, you're a very pleasant person. You're a very nice person to be around. You're the kind of person that I like to be friends with. You know, I enjoy being with you. So I'm going to give you some advice. Now, Marissa, yes, you may be more busy when you retire, but you're going to be busy doing things you really enjoy doing. So you'll make out a list of things you thoroughly enjoy doing, and you'll be very busy doing those things. And then if you find something that you don't really want to do, you just stop doing it. So, you know, so so you're busy, but you are busy doing things you enjoy. So you have been very busy, Aline, keeping our parks running, keeping our general manager on track, keeping our board on track. Now it's your time to enjoy our parks. Things that you don't have time to do now. Hike, take classes, go to the concerts, volunteer. I can give you some good ideas on volunteering. Our community needs you. So get out there and enjoy everything there is, because you have a lot to share. You have a lot of knowledge that we need, and you have a lot to give back. So, so yes, pick and choose what it is you want to do and be involved and have a fabulous time. And I'm hoping that I will see you more retired than I was seeing you when you were working. I've got lots of ideas. Do you want to learn how to play disc golf? So I've decided to try that again. Anyway, enjoy from the bottom of my heart. I have so appreciated having you here. Thank you.
I can't top that, but thank you. And I was going to say, if you do want to have an example of somebody who's busy in retirement,
Yeah.
just, well, I think she's got me beat. But he lives at Conejo Creek South, you know, he's there 7 days a week. So we need to add an apartment down there just for Chuck. We get a little house installed there somewhere. Yeah, just, I think, you know, Chuck mentioned we had a Costco board meeting I was at this, since we last met. And I did, you know, meet with the general manager and Director Cusworth for a couple meetings for our evaluation review. And I did go to the Water World meeting, which was nice. They would do a great job over there. And again, Aileen, I just want to echo some of what I said earlier today, but then also add to that. But again, as I mentioned, I just was thinking about, you know, what would describe my impression of you over the course of my 6, almost 7 years. And it's grace and elegance. I mean, just everything you do is with grace, and you do it in an elegant fashion. And even when you're reminding me of things that I haven't done, it's just like you're polite. I mean, I don't know anybody who can be annoying and still be polite. It's just like, it's just like, it just doesn't, it was never offensive. It was just like, oh yeah, she's right. I messed up. You know, I didn't do something, you know, but you always say it in a kind and polite way. And I just remember learning from a gentleman many, many years ago. He said, you know, you can say anything to anybody if you do it with a smile. And I always thought that that's kind of what you do. Even in an email, it's just like I can imagine you smiling in a reminding email. It's just like I can't get mad at you. You know, you're just too nice, too kind, and you just do it in a very polite way, and you know, just to kind of remind us to get things done. But uh, Nellie was kind of itemizing all the things you do on behalf of the board. You know, whether Jim refers to you as his office wife, or some of the other things, or the mom. We heard you were a mom to others. It's like nothing was beneath you. And another thing came to mind. So I say, you know, if you want to be the greatest of all, be the servant to all. And I always thought that that was a reflection of you too. You're like nothing was beneath you. If it needed to get done, you're happy to do it. You know, whether it's filling the chip bowl or whatever it happens to be, you know, to do that. And I know Jim's, you know, speaks very highly of you, just, you know, being there to do whatever he needs to get done. So thank you for that on behalf of him, but then also for us too. I just, you know, witnessed that, you know, just a smattering of the way you know, be able to interact with the board. But it'll be sad that you're gone, but I'm also looking forward to hearing all the new stories about all these places you're going, things you're doing, and the world that you're going to explore. So thank you for contributing the routine of your life to this organization. And though, in hearing you talk at lunch, it was just like, it was a routine, but it wasn't a routine because you enjoyed it here. So that means a lot to me because it just speaks highly of the organization. And when someone can spend that much time here in a routine and yet it not feeling like a routine, that's great. Love to hear it. So we're going to miss you. Thanks for all your contributions. And like I said, we'll be looking forward to seeing you periodically. Okay, so we'll move on to requests for status reports and items for subsequent agendas, if there are any. Okay, seeing none. Items from the public, and I do have a special blue card here with Brian and Andy Pletcher. Apparently they got wind about Aileen's retirement as well. So please join us at the podium and we'll look forward to hearing what you have to say.
I notice you all preface every statement with, I promise I'll be brief. Esteemed Chair and Board, my name is Brian Pletcher. That's Andy Pletcher over there. As residents and members of the community, we would like to acknowledge Aline for her years of faithful service and her cheerful and never-ending enthusiasm, which has infected anyone who had the luck to interact with her over the years. I know she will do amazing things in her retirement and look forward to continuing to cross paths with her in the future. Good luck.
Thank you very much, and thank you for taking the time to wait through our very brief comments. But thank you for that. And General Manager, would you care to introduce our executive closed session?
Yes, we do have a need for closed session under Government Code Section 54957, Public Employee Performance Evaluation General Manager. No announcement is expected. And I think at this time,
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Aileen, as soon as you're through back there, if you could please join me up here. Since this is your last final meeting, would you be so kind as to take the gavel and officially adjourn the meeting?
Oh, my God. Meeting adjourned.
You are retired. You are retired.